The destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You know what that sound is because you're a nerd. And who doesn't love the X-Men rock and roll theme song from the 90s? Just
listen, this was my my Saturday mornings in a nutshell.
There's really nothing else to do but listen to this.
I was Storm as a child.
Yeah, of course you were.
Yeah.
Nobody didn't want to be Storm. We're going to get into Storm in a little bit. Today's show is entirely dedicated to black superheroes in honor of Black Panther. I'm Joelle Monique, your host. Find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique, every week at blackgirlnerds.com. Carrie D could not be here today, but we have a super dope fill-in. Our Marvel fanatic, our DC love. How you doing, Drew?
Hi, what's up, guys? My name is Drew Jones. You can follow me on all the things at OKDrewJ, or you can catch me on Tuesday nights for the Flash After Show, Wednesday nights for Black Lightning.
Yeah! Woo! Totally. So Black Panther's coming out Thursday. It's finally here.
So excited.
We are only 4 days away. It's real. It's happening. And in honor of that, I kind of wanted to talk about some of our favorite black superheroes in this stuff. Now, we did a black animated characters for Black History Month, which was super fun when Carrie was here. But I wanted just superheroes, just black, especially from our youth.
Yes.
I think this was a time when Black Panther had some early appearances on like the Fantastic Four show. Fantastic Four is where Black Panther was originated by Stan Lee. But we're not going to talk about Black Panther today, so I just want you to prepare. If you came for Black Panther, I'm sorry. It's not in my rundown today. I love Black Panther. I have yet to see a great animated depiction of him, aside from his solo series, which is too much to talk about in the very short amount of time we have here. So check out the BET series. It's pretty good. It's not my favorite thing on the planet, but it's fun. You can definitely watch it. Today, we're going to get into some of our favorites, though.
Yes. Starting
with Miles Morales. You guys already know my love of Miles Morales. It's deep. It's real. He's half black. He's half Puerto Rican. He's Afro-Latino. He is, to me, what Spider-Man should be. To me, I love Peter Parker. But I love Peter Parker in his college years.
Agreed.
I love a Peter Parker who visits Aunt May, not one who lives with Aunt May. I like a Peter Parker who has, like, a really solid relationship with Jane or any of his partners, actually, which he never really has as a high schooler, because who has a solid relationship in high school? It's rare. It only happened in A Walk to Remember. Miles Morales, on the other hand, is like a kid dealing with very legitimate issues. Like, his uncle's into crime, but he loves him because that's blood and that's fam. His mother died and his father kind of disappeared and doesn't know what to do. Like, it's a lot of stuff that you might be able to relate to. On top of that, then he starts dating a girl whose father's Hydra. Then he finds out he's part of a giant Spider-Verse. Then he starts dating Silk. Like, there's literally nothing or any point in Miles Morales' story where I'm not 100% vested so far.
Absolutely agree.
So I pulled this clip. This is the very first time we see Miles Morales animated, and when I tell you guys I cried, I am not speaking in hyperbole. It was amazing. Let's check it out.
My head pretty hard because you look like Peter Parker.
You know my secret identity? Oh, of course you do. You're a Peter Parker too.
No,
Don't freak out. I'm you.
Whoa! I'm not you. You're dead, which makes me dead. No way. Neither of us could be dead. That's impossible, Peter Parker. So you're not dead?
I'm not what now?
Okay, don't freak out.
Huh?
My name is Miles Morales, and I'm Spider-Man. We're not ghosts, right? Because if I'm dead, my mom and dad are gonna kill me.
You're Spider-Man? But you're so young.
What are you gonna do, card me? I'm 13, almost 14 in 11 months.
Sorry, just didn't expect such a young Spider-Man. Listen, this is complicated and not gonna make a lot of sense, but I'm from a parallel world.
Makes total sense. So you chase the goblin from your world to this one, and since he's goblin, he's probably after my DNA.
Exactly. You're pretty good, Spidey. When you saw me, why did you think we were ghosts?
You're not kidding. Because this isn't a ha-ha kind of topic. You really don't know what happened to Peter Parker? I mean, you?
Spoiler alert, Peter Parker dies in this universe.
Yeah.
If you recognize that voice, it's because it's Donald Glover!
I know. There's just so many levels to that being him, especially because we saw him in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Truth.
Being the uncle, and I was just like, when I saw that, I actually like yelled in the middle of the theater, and everyone was like, well, what are you doing?
It's Donald freaking Glover, our Lord and Savior, okay? The man who brought us Atlanta. He's stunning.
Yeah, he's Simba. But
he is Simba. Oh my god, there's so many great things coming for him. Like, it's just so...
Lando.
Woo!
Oh my god,
I know, it's a lot.
But yeah, I just love, I don't know, you said it already, but Miles is what I think when I think Spider-Man, because I just feel like he's the true essence of, like, what we love about Spider-Man. You know, he's just young and, like, very hopeful and just, like, trying to do good and not very, like, he's often put in not very good situations. And I just feel like those are all the things we love about Spider-Man. And when you just think, like, New York and all that, you're just like...
That's it precisely. I feel like there was a time in New York, we have a ton of superheroes from, like, 60s Marvel that are focused specifically on, like, Italian or, like, light skin, you know?
Yeah.
Other ethnicities, which is great. Like, there's no hate against those other characters, but it is great to see a Marvel New York that is accurately representative of the diversity that is in New York. It's a major hub city, so it felt good to be like, to watch Miles Morales. If you guys read the comic books, he went into the lottery to get into a good school, which is a thing that happens in New York because there are too many kids and not enough schools. Like, that's crazy to actually experience that in a comic book form. It's great that those kids will have someone to identify with as their own personal superhero. And Miles brings all of that. And then on top of that, to have, like, the number one nerd, Donald Glover, do it. Like, Donald Glover and Tessa Thompson need to do a movie already, because to me, they're like there are black nerds. That's what they are.
I can't handle it.
It would be a lot. And they're both, like, Atlanta natives, so, like, that, like, whole tone and mentality. But Atlanta has definitely blossomed as kind of, like, the black city of America, which maybe used to belong to New Orleans, and before that maybe after that maybe Miami. But now, you know, it's definitely Atlanta, a hub city. That was definitely a sidetrack. Sorry, guys. What I'm trying to say is Miles Morales is great. This intro is great. I love watching him interact with Peter Parker. And I think that clip gives us a really nice introduction into Miles' story. Yeah. For people who haven't read the comic books, you get everything you need to know just in that, you know, couple of minutes. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Miles. Shout out to X-Men. Speaking of X-Men, Storm is up next. Okay, so talk to me about Storm and your childhood.
When I was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky, which is white people central. I love you, Louisville, I do. But you don't see, especially on TV, you don't see a lot of girls that, like, look like you that are in these powerful positions. So having Storm on TV, waking up Saturday mornings and seeing this powerful black woman who's smart and has badass powers and is a leader.
Preach it, sister.
And doesn't, like, there's no storyline where she's, like, focusing on a man. It's just, like, her and all of her essence.
Unless it's to take down Scott. No, she does not. She has one mission in life. Raise these kids right.
Yes, it was just everything. Like, everything. And for her to be, like, this beautiful, dark-skinned woman. Oh, my gosh. She was like the light of my life. She still is.
I feel like you're going to appreciate this. So this is not a clip, but multiple clips of Storm giving these great speeches.
Yes.
Let's check it out. Look at this high pony. Like, I cannot. Look at chest plate out, hands thrust back.
I could never.
She is the diva. Having to save Scott once again. Always causing trouble.
Scott is always extra.
He is the most extra. Dark Phoenix, why? We're gonna take down the pterodactyl like it's not a problem. Like, there are no issues here. She is all powerful.
Winds rise and sweep the thorns from our path.
The baddest.
I command the Sahara winds.
The Sahara winds. She can also stop storms. Like, there's nothing she can't do.
I believe that pleasure is mine.
Woo! Let's make this the last one. That was so Storm to me, like, these quotes, these powerful speeches, like, that's what I remember of Storm, because I was into this show, like, for, like, maybe 2 or 3 years. You know, I was very young. For me, the X-Men show doesn't carry over story very well. It's very typical Marvel, which is like situational drop in, you know, who these characters are, with a very specific style and tone.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I was much more into like Batman the Animated Series, which had long form stories that I could connect to and inform me a lot more about characters and their actions. But Storm always stuck out because, one, she looks boss. 2, she was like a grown-ass woman, which I really appreciate even to this day. Like, she felt like my mothers, like my mentors, like the people the women in my life. who gave me guidance. And so to see that in Storm and to see her pass that on to the kids and to have the same vernacular come out of her mouth, like she's incredible to watch. And I value this Storm because we still haven't gotten it right in the live action films. We don't have to go into the colorism. We don't have to go into
so many levels
to the poor writing that goes into this beautiful and amazing character. We don't have to go into the fact that no one wants to show her as a grown-ass adult. We don't have to go there.
We don't.
We can pull it back. But because we haven't gotten it there, I still think that this is our best portrayal outside of comics of the character.
Absolutely.
And I'm so grateful that she exists, and I look forward to future iterations of her.
Yeah, you know, what I actually love about Storm in like the X-Men series is actually kind of opposite of yours. Was I grew up where, you know, you didn't always have cable or you didn't always whatever. So I love that you could come in and watch one of these episodes and like not have to have seen the one before and the one after. You could just pick it up and enjoy it for what it was.
Hell yeah.
Because I feel like there are a lot, you know, little hood babies like me who didn't have, you know, basic cable and whatnot and could still enjoy this and still have that role model that was Storm and have her be so well spoken and so powerful and just be like the essence of like an amazing black woman. So I love her.
Shout out to Storm, man.
Shout out
Put
to
her
Storm.
in more things.
Give
but
her
cast
a
her as
movie.
a dark-skinned woman, or I don't want it.
Exactly.
Seriously,
We don't want it if it's not right.
The next character should need very little introduction to those who are into comics, but to those who are not, I will give you a very brief description. Plus size, boss bitch, scares Batman.
Love
Her
her.
name is Amanda Waller. Let's check out this clip. Amanda Waller was the Batman Beyond that. You had it up. Yep.
Overwrite your DNA with his. I did.
Poor Terry. He didn't see it coming.
Why?
Because the world needs a Batman. Not that I always thought so, mind you. Before you were born, Bruce and I were enemies. His Justice League was easily the most powerful force on Earth. As you know, I was in charge of Project Cadmus. Over the years, I came to respect Batman, even trust him.
Guess the law of averages means somebody'd have to.
Did you know I was the government liaison with the Justice League for a while? I met some extraordinary people in that job, but none of them were the equal of Batman.
Right. Who could be?
Not my point. I saw him save the day dozens of times, with nothing but his wits, body, and will. But I saw something else as the years passed. He was getting older, slower. Soon he'd have to retire, or more likely, someone would finally manage to kill him. The thought of a world without Batman was unacceptable.
Agreed.
So I decided to make a new one.
Look at my girl.
I used my old Cadmus connections to gather the technology necessary for Project Batman Beyond.
This is how you know you're sickening.
Bruce's DNA was easy enough to obtain.
You left it
He
everywhere.
left it all over town.
Shame.
Not remotely what I meant. I found a neo-Gotham.
But also, maybe a little bit.
Psychological violence identical to those of Bruce's parents. Your father thought he was getting a flu shot. Actually, it was a nanotech solution programmed to rewrite his reproductive material into an exact copy of Bruce Wayne's. A little over a year later, your mother gave birth to you. A child sharing half her genetic material and half Bruce's. But when you're making a Batman, genetics is only part of the story. The rest is tragedy.
Yo.
Stop me if you've heard it before. You're 8 years old. Your parents have just taken you to a rousing adventure film. A grand time is had by all. But unknown to you, a mysterious figure hides.
Oh, come on!
My plan was simple. The killer would leap out at you and kill your family. The trauma would put you on the path to becoming Batman. One problem. My assassin wouldn't pull the trigger. I argued with her, but deep down I knew she was right. People say Batman's obsessive, that he'd do anything to achieve his goals.
Damn it.
But he'd never resort to murder.
Barbara Gordon.
So if I was to honor all he stood for, neither could I.
And yet my dad wound up murdered. Anyway, don't you get it? No matter what you did or didn't do, I was gonna end up being Bruce's carbon copy. It was fate.
You know, the Lord's been a great comfort to me all these years. Try not to look so surprised. Yeah, I've got a lot to answer for when I meet him. But I'd like to believe that for all the harm I've caused, I've also done some good. Maybe the angels need a sharp sword too. Like the good book says, he moves in mysterious ways.
That's
His
good right
plan
there,
is of
dude.
the
So,
But here's
what I love about Amanda Waller is not, and the reason I chose this clip, there's a lot of like vicious clips I could have showed, you know, because that's how we often know Amanda, as less of a thinking creature and more of a pragmatic creature. And by that I mean she doesn't have time to think about other people's feelings or even consequences too far down the line. What she has time to think about is, how do I stop this person who could potentially kill thousands? And what I think a lot of people miss about her is they think that she's cold-blooded. That is clearly from this clip not true at all. She just understands that decisions have to be made and they need to be made quickly or we are all dead. Batman is afraid of her. There's this, I want to say late 80s, early 90s cover of Amanda Waller, like, in Batman's face, just shoving her finger in his, and he's not Bruce Wayne. He's in full Batman regalia at this point. That, to me, was all I needed to know about Amanda Waller, to be like, I'm on her team. Like, whatever team Amanda's on,
her.
that's where I'm. I recently played the Telltale's Batman game, and you can choose between Amanda Waller or James Gordon. Batman gets to make decisions on who, and I was like, I love you, James. You're so cute.
You're so precious that you think I'm not going to pick Amanda.
But it's going to be Amanda. Do you remember the first time you saw Amanda Waller, or the first time you got that feeling for her?
Yes, very much so, because I feel like Amanda Waller, I was really little, but I just remember watching it and then staring at her, listening to her talk, and then looking directly over at my grandma and then looking back and being like, everyone has an Amanda Waller in their life.
Yes, they do.
Everyone has a grandma or a black auntie who is Amanda Waller. Because what I love about her is she doesn't have superpowers. She's just a badass. Like, she just doesn't care. I mean, she does care, but like, she's just very like eyes on the prize. Everything's black and white. There's no gray area. We just have to do what we have to do. And she, even like, it doesn't matter how much she ages, she just continues to be that force.
Truth.
Just like a black auntie or a grandma.
It's true, and she actually becomes more powerful because the thing that she was missing before, that heart, that emotion, clearly comes into play later in her life. Clearly, as she gets older and the more she starts connecting and being around people, like, she's with Batman's partnership and Amanda Waller, it's like a 30-40 year relationship. Yeah. So the idea that she, you know, can evolve and will evolve is amazing to me as a character. Like, this really changed my opinion of her, because before I was like, yes, badass Amanda Waller, I'm down. Like, screw all of you, I don't have time for you, blah, blah, blah. But this just really rounded her out as an entire person, and I really value just the fact that she's here. I'm going to buck back on what you said a little bit about the fact that she's not a superhero. I think Amanda Waller exemplifies superhero. She doesn't wear a cape, but she has an entire team behind her. She's a person who brings people together, and she stops crime from happening. I love Amanda. We're short on time, so I'm going to skip forward straight to our final clip. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm here. Things are happening. Static Shock. We've talked about Static Shock before on the show and the value. We don't have to show the clip because we're really short on time. But if you get a chance, check out when Static Shock meets Batman. It is incredible. It is wonderful. What I love about Static Shock is not only is he, like, cool and young and black, but he also fits into the structure very well of teen comic books. Mm-hmm. And something I don't think black kids are often afforded is, like, their youth. Yeah. We see that a lot. It is a subject that is touched upon in Black Panther that I think is what people will leave the theater feeling very emotional about. It is imperative, and it's the whole reason Dwayne McDuffie created Static Shock, was so that kids could look at them at the screen and see themselves. Even Cyborg, who's often portrayed as a teen, doesn't feel youthful. You know, he always feels like the oldest in the group. He's always the biggest, which isn't necessarily a problem, except for the fact that, like, not every black kid is going to be the biggest kid in their group. Very and so true. For that to always be the thing, you know, Vixen, who is on a bunch of different Titan teams, is definitely older and sexualized a lot, which, again, is fine. There's nothing wrong with being sexy. But, again, just having a character for the youth, which is why Miles Morales is so important to me today. What did Static Shock mean to you in your youth?
He, first of all, was my first cartoon crush.
Yay!
I love
he is
him.
hella handsome.
He was. But I just think, yeah, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. He was just youthful, you know? Like, Virgil, like, dealt with real stuff. Like, he was relatable. I could easily, when I was a kid, I could be like, I could go to school with Static Shock, you know?
Yes.
He was someone that I could easily know and that I could relate to. And, like, his problems weren't so far-fetched from mine. It wasn't like a Bruce Wayne who's a millionaire and lives alone in a bat cave, you know? Like, it was this kid who was dealing with day-to-day and had to deal with, you know, racism, or had to deal with, you know, does this girl like me back? Or, like,
or even just parents.
Yeah, you know, has to worry about getting grounded. Like, he was just somebody that I could relate to, and, like, it made me feel like I could be super because he was super and he was so close to who I was.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to our black superheroes. We have Miles Morales, our Storms, our Amanda Wallers, our Static Shocks. Special shout out to people who could not be included in this very brief show, which is John, the Green Lantern, who is just, John Stewart is everything to
Love
me.
you.
He's my hero, but it's hard to find good clips of him. Wonder why. Martian Manhunter, when he chooses to be black, is one of, like, the fact that you came to this planet in a time when it was not, like, great to be black and you chose to be black is incredible to me. It gives me inspiration in life every single day. And of course, Vixen, who I mentioned earlier, who I just adore, but who is frequently shown in her relationship to John in the comic books, or in the TV show. And so I didn't want to bring that in. She's her own person and she's amazing. There is a CW Seed show, which you can watch, of Vixen, that's pretty good. If you need more Vixen in your life, but there's also a short comic, I think written by Gail Simone, that is much better, which I highly recommend you check out if you want to see more black female superheroes. Getting into our news, Illumination might be doing a Mario Brothers movie. What does this mean? So I've heard a lot of different rumors about what's going to be happening with this. Some people are saying it's going to be like Mario Paper, so it's very cutesy, rounded out, modern sort of style of animation. Is this something you're excited about? We talked a little bit earlier about the fact that Illumination is a studio that brought us Minions and Despicable Me. Does this give you hope? Do you think that they can do it?
Listen, Illumination, in my opinion, doesn't know how to just appreciate a good thing. I feel like they always take things too far. AKA the Minions. Like, Despicable Me was adorable, and then you had to go make a Minions movie, and that was not necessary, and I hate Minions now.
Okay,
when
for
I
sure.
used to enjoy them. I'm just scared. Like, Mario was such a big part of all of our childhood. I'm just scared that they're going to take this and, like, make it something that's not what we're hoping for. But I want to be pleasantly surprised because I forget who made Trolls.
DreamWorks, yeah.
DreamWorks. They did a great job on that movie. That was cute, and I know that little me would have enjoyed it just as much as, like, adult me.
Killer soundtrack. I think that Illumination, this is a good partnership. The president of Nintendo said that he's concerned about making movies. He's like, I just feel like interactive entertainment is so much different than film, so I want to make sure we give it to someone who can do it right and do it justice. I agree with you very much on the Minions overkill, but I also understand the importance of launching a franchise, and for children, I feel like they got their hooks in them, and now, hopefully with Nintendo, they're able to expand their branch, and hopefully we won't see so many Minions anymore. Please, for the love of God.
Please.
But yeah, so I'm excited about the film. We'll see if the partnership works out. Moving on, Kim Possible is getting a live-action film. I feel like Disney really duped us on this because they were like, oh, hey, kids, like, just tune into Disney. We're going to give you a whole day of Kim Possible. It's going to be fun. Like, nostalgia trip. And I was like, woo, Kim Possible, love it. Started watching it, then all of a sudden the news comes out, like, live-action movie. And I was like, oh, I have mixed feelings.
I'm very nervous about this because Nickelodeon did this with Fairly Odd Parents, and it was trash.
It was awful.
And Kim Possible is another one that was, like, another amazing female lead who, kicked ass, and I just don't want it to be something like, I hope Disney does what they've done with their other live actions and they really put the effort and the funds into it, because it could be really cool, but I'm just, like, not sold on it yet.
I don't blame you. A lot of people are calling for, Madeline Pesh to play who plays Cheryl Blossom in Riverdale to be Kim Possible. I'm okay with this. I'm also equally as nervous. Like, how are we going to do the naked mole rat thing? Is it going to be CG? Are you going to put, like, at Disney, you have endless money, but it's Disney TV, which is a very different animal than Disney animated films. You know, are you going to be able to duplicate the romance between Ron and Kim?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of questions here. but I'm intrigued. And Kim Possible
am.
is a hero in her own right. She had played a huge part in our youth, so maybe it will work out. Who is to say? Last bits of news we're going to go through really quick. The Annies came and went. Coco and Kobe Bryant were top winners. You can feel free to hop online and check out the full list of winners and nominees there. Carrie and I didn't make it this year, but we're going to try next year because the Annies are a really cool event. They're a lot of fun. And it's always great to recognize the people who do a lot of work in putting in the animation, creating the animation. I know words. Finally, the Anime Awards are this Saturday. They're hosted by Crunchyroll. You can go, what's really cool about these awards is you can go online, go to Crunchyroll. All of the nominees are available to watch on Crunchyroll right now.
Wow.
So if you want to make your own selections about what's the best anime, you can do it right now. And your friend Joelle will be at those awards. I will probably be on the socials, sharing the things, talking about the winners as they happen. Randomly, there's a VIP party afterwards that somehow my friend got me into. Woo! So I'll be reporting on that too. Hopefully being able to stop by, say hello to some of your friends, and maybe Carrie and I will be able to bring someone with them back for you. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's a super, super quick episode, but I appreciate you being here. I appreciate us getting to talk about things. Drew, thank you so much for filling in.
Thank you for having me.
It was lovely having you. We're going to have you come back to talk about more fun DC things. Guys, you can follow us on the Twitters. Tell us what you think. Hashtag Animation Weekly. You can find Carrie D at Carrie D43. Probably if you type in Carrie D4, it'll show up. I've been Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique. Every week at blackgirlnerds.com. Tomorrow night at Scum and Villainy, we're going to be doing a cosplay contest. Thanks again, Drew, for coming in. Tell the folks where they can find you.
You guys can find me on all the social media at OKDrewJ.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.